And so that was like the only time I ever felt like I was anywhere nearly as smart as anyone else.
You had a brief moment of superiority.
Yeah, I was like, I'm smarter than him. Right? Okay.
That's probably how all our commenters feel. when they're like, you forgot this.
Yeah. And now you must claim a portion of his Suicide Girls.
Yeah. That's okay. But yeah, other than that, everyone else is pretty dope. And, but yeah, there was that just one thing, and I was like, yeah, you messed up. You shouldn't have been reading 2000 AD his whole life. You should have been reading Wonder Woman comics. And he would have gotten that totally spot on.
She shouldn't have a belly button either.
Oh,
unless she poked one in there.
She doesn't have silver bracelets to protect her stomach. You know, just like a bullet just went into her belly button.
Any other questions?
No.
Yeah.
We'll come back to you.
I was going to invoke your Batmanology degree.
Okay.
Which villain has created the best stories, Signal Man or the Spook?
That's a tough one. The best stories?
The best stories.
I kind of like the Spook. He was in a Grant Morrison story, so automatically. Signal Man is a poor man's Clue Master who is a poor man's Riddler, who is a poor man's Batman villain. Whereas the Spook, can he walk through walls? I don't know. I would say the Spook has probably done better stories, but neither one is a KG Beast.
I mean, who is?
The KG Beast.
And the NKV
Chapman
demon.
Powers.
He was cut off his hand before surgery.
What do you think the origin of Iron Man's Santa Claus armor is?
What's Iron Man's Santa Claus armor?
You remember those Marvel House ads with like Christmas subscriptions where Iron Man's in Santa Claus armor?
Yes, okay. I know what the origin of that is. It's called Pennsylvania Dutch eggnog. That's why Iron Man made Santa Claus. That issue where Iron Man gets drunk and goes to the museum and tries to put on the actual suit of medieval armor is still like the funniest thing that's ever been in comics. I love that comic. No, actually, the funniest thing was the Assistant Editor's Month issue where the kids with the Avengers Club. Has anybody read that one? Chad's read it. These kids have an Avengers fan club, and they all dress up like the Avengers. And so like there's a kid who has like kind of a half-assed Captain America cosplay, and the best one is like I think it's a girl. It's like this 10-year-old girl, this kind of heavy-set 10-year-old girl with a big frown and a Hulk sweatshirt, but it's the Hulk sweatshirt that they sold like in the 60s. And at the time in Avengers, Iron Man had been kicked out of the Avengers because he was drunk. And so the kids, in order to make their fan club accurate, kick their Iron Man out. And there's a panel of him with a bottle of Coke. And he's like, I don't know what I gotta do. I gotta get my life together. And then he comes back and like he goes into the garage. Like Iron Man always goes down into the basement and builds his new armor. This kid goes into the garage with like a coffee pot and like a bunch of sheet metal and like builds himself a new Iron Man costume with roller skates and comes back and saves the Avengers Club. So it's basically like that entire Iron Man arc in miniature with children. That is awesome.
Quick Batman question. Now that Christopher Nolan has said that he won't bring back the Joker for the third one, and the third one will probably be the end of his involvement, what villain do you really think they should close out that trilogy with? I mean, who could follow Heath Ledger as the Joker in your opinion?
KGBs.
No crazy quote?
Who would play KGBs?
Who would play KGBs?
Dolph.
Dolph Lundgren. I keep thinking of Ivan Drago. They wouldn't even have to like do anything. They just put in scenes from Rocky IV and have Christian Bale act opposite them. If he dies, he dies. Seriously though, I mean, a lot of people have said the Riddler, and I think the Riddler would be really good for that Batman because he's a purely mental villain, and the stuff that Batman has fought in those movies are very mental challenges. I mean, he fights a lot of dudes, but the Joker is not a mental villain, or a physical villain. Like, Batman beats the Joker every time, physically. Batman beats everybody, physically. And the best scene in Dark Knight, like, the scene that shows that they really get it, is the way the Joker reacts to Batman and the way Batman reacts to the Joker. Because he's the one guy that Batman physically can't intimidate. Like the scene in the interrogation room where he slams his head and like whatever. Which I think is a really cool part about the Joker. That's what makes him like a really good contrast. And you know, I mean, there have been the fan posters going around with Neil Patrick Harris as the Riddler. I watched that movie.
Yeah.
I watch a Batman movie. Like I wouldn't. I saw Batman and Robin in the theater. Come on. I saw Batman Forever in the theater. No, but I think he's kind of of the Batman villains that you want to see in a movie. He's like the one that they haven't done yet. Whereas they did Scarecrow and Ra's al Ghul and Joker and Two-Face. So he's kind of like the only one left. I wouldn't want to see Bane as much as I love comics' favorite luchador.
What about Spider-Man?
When we got 10 minutes?
We got 10-minute warning. Chris, I want to hear your question.
All right. Who would win in a best-of-3 race on 3 different kinds of racetracks, one being a real racetrack race, then a cross-country, then a through the streets of Gotham? Batman versus Speed Racer.
Oh man, I think your head's gonna explode. No. Here's I couldn't like. Chris will give you the better answer. They would team up. Okay. This is what happened. The villains would team up against them.
There's no villains. This is just a race.
Okay, well,
it's never just a race.
just go with me. Go with me here. So they're racing for charity. It's for charity, right?
Was it a matter of pride?
What would happen is they would be racing, they would be neck and neck, like some kind of Gotham Villain United Speed Racer thread would like pop up. Both cars would get half destroyed. And so Batman's gonna look at Speed, he's gonna go, and Batman's kind of hurt, but he's still got his Bat mind. And so he's like, I can't finish this race, but I'm going to put the 2 cars together as one. And it's going to be like the Bat Mach 5. And so Speed would drive, Batman would like throw batarangs at the villains that were trying to stop him, because all the gadgets are destroyed. So Batman's just got his utility belt to like throw out the car window. And,
there's a lot of coincidence in this story you're telling me.
Just go with me, dude. And they get to the finish line, and that's where all the bad guys are assembled, and they just run them over. That's what
I don't know if I can top that.
I want you to.
That's good enough. All right.
There you go. Can we make that comic?
Wait, real quick. Did you see the episode of Brave and the Bold where they had? Okay, yeah. They had an episode of Brave and the Bold where it was basically Cannonball Run with the Justice League, which was awesome.